My name is Melissa with Homestead, and welcome to my channel where I focus on homesteading skills, self-sufficiency, and resilience. Today, I'm going to share with you my spice pantry. We haven't talked about that in a while. Okay, so we're here in my kitchen, and I have shared before on here my spice pantry. My spice pantry is something that I decided to create so that I would have spices on hand at all times. So I've done a video before on the savings of buying spices in bulk. That's really not what this video is going to be about, but just know with the prices at the grocery store, you can absolutely buy your spices in bulk a ton cheaper. And the reason for that is because you're not paying for the packaging. You're not paying for the glass jar. You're not paying for the label, the lid, what goes into shipping, what goes into having a production facility to produce all of that, what the grocery store actually purchases their product for, and then, actually does have to make a little bit of money. So when you buy in bulk, you actually end up saving a ton of money. And it really depends on the herb or spice that you're actually interested in. But I try to grow some of our herbs and spices, but I obviously do not have a farm, and so I don't have room to do everything. But what I do have is this great little pantry that I've created. It honestly needs a little cleaning out, which I'm going to probably try to get done before the Thanksgiving holiday. So I have about 4 to 6 weeks before we're headed into the Thanksgiving Christmas holiday, and I'm going to be using a lot of stuff in that pantry. So one of the things I want to do is share with you the pantry, and then also take a peek at the organization that I've created for my backstock, and then also kind of start taking an inventory of what we're going to need for the upcoming holidays. So let's take a look at the food pantry I have created. Okay, so this is just a big drawer that I have underneath my stove area, and I created this spice pantry so that I would have spices on hand at all times. Now, I do still have a few spices in this drawer, some smaller spices that I don't use very often, but these right here are the spices that I use most often. I'm going to run through, I try to keep them in alphabetical order as much as I can, but I'm going to run through some of the spices that we use quite often in here and then talk about the backstock. So I make my own everything bagel seasoning. I believe I've done a video on this. If I haven't, I'll do one, but this is the everything bagel seasoning that I make. I used to buy it, now I make my own. Honestly, I think that I was planning on doing a video on that, and I don't think I ever did, so I will plan on doing that. But one of the things that you need in your pantry, if you're going to make seasonings like this that you keep on stock all the time, or everything that goes into it that maybe you don't think you might need. So black sesame seeds is one of them, and then also I think we've got some white sesame seeds down. Yeah, I've got some white sesame seeds down here at the end. But because I use this so much, honestly, spices get down inside my drawer. It can get kind of messy, but this works really well for me because I can just pop the lid off and grab what I need out like a bay leaf and stick it in my soup. It's just fabulous. I love it. So I use mostly quart jars, and then I purchased these little wood lids from Amazon. They're pretty airtight, but they're not going to take all the oxygen, of course, out of your glass. So if you want something more, more substantial, you could actually use a regular lid and a jar saver to actually get that. But I like the wood lids. First of all, I like the way it looks. And then also I can just write on the top what I have. And since these are things that I'm going to be using all the time, that's what I do. So I have everything from basil all the way to peppercorns, parsley. We've got poppy seed, oregano, lemon pepper. What else do we have over there? Rosemary. I have ground thyme that I buy from Azure Standard, but also I've got some of my garden thyme. And so when I do have my own when I do have my own stuff coming out of the garden, I go ahead and throw it in here as well. Onion powder, one of the things that I love to have on stock, which I have another, I'm gonna attach to this video. We made some of this spicy mustard. It is just mustard powder that I get from Azure Standard, but it has like a horseradish taste to it. It's so good, but you just mix it with water. It's so easy. But this is just great to be able to have all of these spices on hand for anything that you might need. Now, one thing I will say is that today I thought I would do somewhat of an inventory, and looking briefly, I think I'm in pretty good shape with most things. I think my cumin is a little low, and I'm not sure I have any in my back stock, and we use cumin a ton in the fall and this winter time because we're making soups. So let's head up to the back stock so you guys can see my back stock, but I have to get a ladder to get you guys up there. So a cabinet above my microwave that has all of my bulk stock in here, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. But I have, typically what I do is buy anywhere from 4 ounces to 1 pound of spices, and I keep them as airtight as I can up here in these containers so that they'll last for 6 months to a year. And because I make all of my own spices, like mixtures, like the steak seasoning and everything, bagel seasoning and ranch seasoning and some of those things, I really run through these. I can get through these pretty quickly. So it's just Steve and I, but we use a lot of spices. And I cook pretty much everything from scratch, so I need this stuff. Make sure I know what is in this cabinet, because as you can see, everything is just in ball jars, and I can't really see what's behind there. And because I don't want to get on a ladder every time I'm looking for this stuff, I actually just took labels and threw some labels inside this cabinet. I really felt like this was a brilliant idea, and I can look up here and make sure that I have something that I need. So if it's something that I don't have in my spice pantry or that I'm low on, I can actually look on this list right here and see if it's something that I actually have up here in my back storage. So as you can see, I have, and it's not in alphabetical order because that doesn't really work, because as I put things up there, I just slap a label up there. So these are all the things that I have in my back storage. Honestly, I have popcorn up here, and I probably need to get rid of that popcorn, and that way I can make more room for spices up here. But I have everything from comfrey to cobbler mix to flaxseed. I've got some breadcrumbs up here, chives. We have dill seed, ground thyme, ground coriander. I've got some coconut flakes that are unsweetened. I have dill from the garden. So it really, really works well for us. So now if I'm looking up here at what I've got, ground thyme, I look like I'm running a little low on, but honestly, that's probably going to be good for us for a while. So I'm not going to worry about ordering that. Coriander, we're good on that. Dill seed, looks like we could use a little dill seed back there. However, the dill seed that I use is typically for preserving, and we're pretty much done with preserving any kind of dill type vegetables for the season. So I'm probably not going to purchase any more dill seed because I don't really need it until next spring. So why spend the money when I don't need it and I don't want it to go bad? Then I've got ginger root powder right there. That's probably enough for us because I've got a full quart container down in the drawer. All right, I'm stepping up on the ladder and trying not to kill myself while I'm talking to you guys. So this is the dill from my garden. Don't really need any more dill because that is basically for preserving. So we've got plenty of that. You can see we have got parsley back there. We have almost half of a gallon of parsley. Not going to need to order any of that. I've got more than enough oregano. When I ordered my Azure Standard order, I think I ordered a pound of oregano, and well, I miscalculated that. I should have only ordered 4 ounces, so I have more than enough of that. Probably will even share that with some friends or the kids. So we have some, this is probably comfrey, This is comfrey up here for some ointments that I make. So we have some bay leaves, there's some chives. We're actually doing really good in the spice category. Now, before I started buying from Azure, I actually had purchased some leaves from some other sources. These are actually from Azure, but I saved the container from Sam's Club from my original bay leaves and just threw them in there because I had some up here and I had some down here. And of course I ordered way too many basil leaves. And so I told you guys I was out of cumin, right? I just said that, and look right there. I've got an Azure whole bag of cumin seed powder. That is why it's important for me to come up here and take a peek at what I have, because what I have in my pantry down in the drawer is never accurate for what I have in my back stock. So looks like, and then this is the Montreal steak seasoning that I had bought originally, but now I'm making my own, but I still have to use the rest of that, so I can actually throw that down in the pantry. I actually bought it because we love it, and then I was thinking I could make my own, and so I looked at the contents on the back, and we've been able to mimic something very close to that, and I'm pretty happy with it. That is what I wanted to share with you about my spice pantry. I would really encourage you to do this because it's such a great way to have some self-sufficiency and resilience when there's all these shipping issues going on that I just heard about. I don't know if that's going to be a problem if some of these things are coming from out of the country, but most of my spices, since I buy from Azure Standard, I can tell where they're coming from, and most of them are here in the United States. I'm pretty passionate about trying to keep that here locally. And then I like to grow some stuff too. But if you are wondering where you can actually buy this besides Azure Standard, you can also, international grocery stores typically sell all of their herbs in bulk, and you can go buy bags of it there, and it's pretty reasonable there too. So next I want to show you how we made mustard on our vacation. Steve had a really hard time eating his sandwich on our hike, the one hike that we got in Tennessee on our vacation. But we hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming content. We hope you're having the best day. Bye.